Morning, everybody. How you doing? Phil here. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. And of course, as always, I'm Darkside Phil. How you doing? That's right. I don't change my identity. I just stay the same person. I've never tried to be someone else. I'm just me. You know what you're getting when you come to my streams. This schlub. How you doing? What's up, everyone? And today, we head further into the end game content of Elden Ring. Playthrough I've been playing nearly 2 months. Nearly 2 months. That's right. It's that long of a crazy game, right? And absolutely today we're going to have rage and fails, but hopefully we'll have perseverance and fun as well. Admittedly, the past couple of days that I haven't been playing Elden Ring, I've been thinking about Elden Ring. Because when you play a game like this, a FromSoft game in particular, and you come up against a challenge, and that challenge beats you, you start thinking and strategizing. In particular, there's a boss that at that tail end of my last Elden Ring stream, I got to him, I only got to fight him for like maybe 20 minutes. And I didn't beat him, and since then, it was like at the very tail end of that stream, I figured out a way to essentially get past the first phase of the boss unscathed. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, right? Now maybe I could be able to beat him when I start fighting him head up. I ran out of time. Like, well, I guess that's not happening then, right? So I've been thinking over the past 2 days about ways to take on this guy. And I have some different ideas of ways to mix up my build and stuff to try to beat him. So we're going to try all those today. And since we're so close to the end of the game, there are a couple of NPC quest lines that, notably, I have not done, and they opened up possible endings. For example, there's that gold mask guy who's standing around in the Altus Plateau staring at the archer like this. Duh, I have gold mask, duh. He doesn't say anything. Well, apparently there's a whole quest with him, and I didn't do it yet, okay? So I want to check that out and possibly go through that today. Then there's another quest line to continue on with the Dung Eater. I believe the way to do the Dung Eater's quest line is you need to get 5 items that are hidden throughout the game. So far, I found 3 of them. And, I mean, I'll be honest, I know where your 4th one is because I was watching someone else's playthrough, and I had missed it. It was actually in the capital city of Landel, and I had passed right by it. So that's another opportunity. I could go get that. I don't know where the 5th item is. I don't know if I've missed it. I don't know if it's somewhere hidden or not. I might have to look into it. But those are 2 more endings, basically. There's a Gold Mask and Dung Eater that are apparently 2 more endings to the game that are possible that I could go through and do the plot lines of. Okay? Now, in addition to that, if you guys remember, last stream, at the tail end of the stream, I basically said to everyone, all right, so I'm in this underground area, right? This is the final underground area of the game. What's left in the game, right? And you're thinking about all the different areas of Elden Ring. Currently, I'm in this snowy area that if I continue to head north and explore, apparently I'm going to end up at this Halig tree. Now, apparently it's completely optional. You don't have to do it. But if you choose to do it, it's the hardest part of the game, by far. Everyone says it's the end game hardest challenge. If you beat it, you basically beat in the game. That's the hardest shit. So, obviously, it stands to reason. That's the thing I should do next to last in my playthrough. So then what else is left that I haven't done? Well, back in the other snowy area, okay, which was the more northeastern snowy area with Castle Sol, there was a whole area there with a field of dead giants and a big chalice, and I never explored that. So I have opportunity, I could go check that out, and apparently, from what I'm going to understand, that will open up another area that previously I've seen. If you guys remember, earlier in the game, I went to a place called the 4 Belfries. And one of those 4 belfries teleports you to this insane place where everything's floating in the sky. And I was looking at it like, what the shit? And everyone's like, yeah, this is total endgame. Don't worry, this is just a preview of what you'll see later in the game. So that's good. And so I'm thinking, likely that's where you're going next, right? Unless that is the ultimate end of the game, I don't know. But yeah, basically, I got some advice. Some people left comments on the video. I got a couple emails from people essentially saying the way you do it is you can explore the snow region if you want. You don't have to yet, but you can. Go back to where I was, do the giant field, get to the chalice, do whatever's there. Essentially, you'll then find a way to get to that floating city. And basically, you can go all the way to the end of the floating city, and as long as you don't fight the final boss, you're okay. Kind of similar to when I did Volcano Manor, and I got to the end and I didn't fight the final boss. And so, as long as you don't do the final boss, you should be good. Then go back, do the Halley Tree, which is the hardest shit in the game, and then go back, beat the floating city, and then that's the end of the game, essentially. Okay? Cool. So I'm excited about that, because obviously this will allow me now to do all the content of the game that's meaningful and not miss out on stuff. So thank you to those who did actually help me with guidance. All right, I really do appreciate that. But yeah, what I'm thinking is we'll beat this boss that I'm on right now, and then maybe if I choose to or not, we'll explore the snowfield. I'm not going to go to the Halley Tree yet. We'll just explore the snowfield, and then we'll do the other stuff in the right order. So if you think it's probably going to take me a while to beat this boss today, maybe we'll do the snowfield, maybe we won't. I want to do the NPC quest, Gold Mask, as well as Dung Eater. Excuse me. So that should be good. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. That would cover everything. So, yeah. And so you think, well, how much longer do I have left in Elden Ring? Well, let's be honest here. All right? I got this boss, which could take a little bit. I'm sure it'll take probably like a half an hour to an hour today. I don't think I'm going to steamroll him. And then I'll probably either do the NPC quest or do the snowfield, one or the other. And then we'll do the other. Whatever I did once, I'll do the other one, you see? That's probably going to take a whole stream, if not longer. Then, if I go to this Field of Giants in this other area, probably another stream, right? And then maybe Halley Tree, so that's maybe another stream. And then maybe Endgame. So you're talking probably, including today, 3 to 4 more streams, which essentially is about another anywhere from 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. Okay? Ellipsy says you can go to the Halley Tree no problem after beating the floating city. It doesn't matter, doesn't it? I was told that if I beat the floating city, you basically locked yourself into the end game and you're kind of screwed. That's what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just reiterating what people have told me. So I don't know. Lipsian is saying you can go to the Halley Tree no problem if you beat the floating city. It doesn't matter. With a game like this, even 2 months after its release, people still don't understand it. Seriously. They just don't, you know, all these conflicting stories, you know. Who knows? But anyway, the point I'm making here is, we've still got to wait, even though it seems like, damn, feels like at the end of the game, there's still a ways to go with the amount of content in the game and apparently the challenge level of the game. So, that being said, I predict probably a whole other week of streaming it, because remember, that'd be about 3 main streams, about 9 more hours, and then maybe even the whole, you know, the finale would be at the tail end of the month or very early May. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. So, I guess we'll see. But thank goodness we are in a home stretch. Not to say that I haven't enjoyed the ride. I absolutely have. And I know you guys have, because every time I play this game, attendance is high, support is high, hype is high, everything's high. We're all high. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens, okay? All right. Anyway, guys, welcome. Today is Monday, the 18th of April 2022, the final consecutive streaming day of the week. 6 straight days of streaming for me this week. Today's my last day. Tomorrow I finally get a day off, which will be nice. Spend some time with my wife. In fact, after having been out last week, we're having a more stay-at-home day tomorrow, and my wife has already told me that she wants to play some Skyrim, and I like watching her play Skyrim. I find it very entertaining. So that should be fun tomorrow. Actually, a more relaxing day of Skyrim gameplay. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited for today. With this Elden Ring stuff today, it's going to be very challenging, but hopefully we'll have some good victories and accomplishments to go in tandem with the 400 deaths I'm about to get to hit 1,000. Because I really feel I'm going to hit 1,000 deaths. What do you guys think? We're at 600 some deaths. I think we can hit 1,000. I think we can do it. And then we can do the meme, the Akuma meme, die 1,000 deaths, and everyone could do the Raging Demon animation while it shows the 1,000 deaths. There you go. I think that would be entertaining. What do you guys think? Anyway. So, Elden Ring here on the first stream. The late stream tonight is pretty unique because you guys are voting on what game I'm going to be playing tonight off of Microsoft Game Pass. Alright? I'm going to actually check on the poll right now, although I get the feeling unless there was a giant flip in the votes overnight. I think I know what it's going to end up being. There was a flip in the votes overnight. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Wow. I never expected that an additional 4,000 people would vote overnight, but hey, you never know, right? And it did. There's the results right there. I'm kidding. That didn't happen. We have about 1,500 people who voted, okay? The voting is currently as follows. Serious Sam 4 at 15%. I Am Fish at 20%. The Forbidden City's final ending at 17%. The Outer Wilds at 32%. And One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 at 17%. So, obviously, the Outer Wilds right now is in the lead by about 12%. Not to say that's a giant amount. It's still a good amount. It's about 170 people, something like that. So, we still have from now until tonight's late stream. The late stream starts at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. So, you're talking 7 hours left to vote. If you have not voted yet, what are you waiting for? Holy crap. 170 people could sway this vote right now. So, how do you vote? Head to the main channel page of this channel, DSPGaming on YouTube, okay? Head to the community tab. Scroll down a bit, because this poll was posted up several days ago. And it'll say, which Game Pass game would you like Phil to play first on Monday night? Good luck. Vote. Whatever wins that poll will be what I play tonight. Now, if it ends up being the Outer Wilds, I'm cool with that. The Outer Wilds is a chill exploration game where basically you're trying to solve a mystery of what's going on with this solar system and why it's blowing up every 22 minutes. Okay? So far, playing the game, I did uncover some clues. The problem is I played the game in January, so I don't remember anything. It's going to be like starting fresh, although the good news is the game... wow, excuse me. The good news is the game saves your progress and all the data that you've uncovered in the ship. So likely what we'll do, the very first thing we will do tonight, when I start playing it, if it does win the poll, is go to the ship and look at my log and say, okay, what did I uncover when I was playing this months ago? And then go from there. Now, if you like the Outer Wilds and if you voted for it, I would strongly urge you to attend tonight's stream. There's a couple reasons why. Reason number one, because obviously you want to see some progress in the game, right? You want to see what I'm going to discover and how it's going to go. Number two, because the game lends itself to interactivity. Even though it's a game of open world exploration, I mean, yeah, a lot of interaction and talking about what's going on is definitely warranted. And then number three, I'm going to need advice, because this is the kind of game that if you kind of have some guidance on where to go and what to do, it makes a lot more sense. I mean, sure, I could just sit here wandering around, going in circles trying to figure it out for myself, and essentially the game would be like 15 hours long. But do you want to see me play this for 15 hours, or do you want to see me discover the cool stuff in the game? Right? This isn't necessarily a major playthrough or whatever. It's more of just chill fun at night. Excuse me. So I would much rather have a fun interactive stream where people kind of lead me toward the right direction than me walking in circles not knowing what the fuck I'm doing and playing for 2 hours and making no progress. You see? So, please, tonight, if you can, attend the stream. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It may be the Outer Wilds, but it may not. You guys still have the power to flip this vote. Like I said, as little as like 150 people voting, which could happen in the next 7 hours, could change the vote entirely. Okay? Cool. Okay. Tomorrow, I'm off from streaming. I will have a relaxing day with my wife, although I will still be doing grocery shopping, running errands and the like. But I hope that you all have a good day tomorrow, a relaxing day, a fun day, and a safe day. But no matter what it is you do, if you do get caught up on the stuff here on DSP Gaming, welcome. I hope you enjoy the on-demand videos from this week. Remember, one quick thing about that, Lego Star Wars, which is a great playthrough I'm doing right now. Sadly, I'm making nothing on it whatsoever on YouTube because every video has gotten claimed for music. Please consider contributing to the channel if you're enjoying the Lego Star Wars on demand, because that would help out, whether it's a membership or maybe a tip, a pledge to my Patreon, whatever you'd like to do, okay? Okay. When I come back on Wednesday, all right? My nose itches. When I come back on Wednesday, it will be more Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We're going to continue on with the Attack of the Clones movie, and I'm actually really excited for this, and here's why. At the tail end of the stream yesterday, I got a data card The data card allows you to get some of the critical upgrades or secrets of the game. I got double Legos. This means that every stage we play moving forward, I'm essentially going to hit the true Jedi level, which means I'm going to get those Kyber blocks for upgrades. The good thing about that is now that I'm getting more upgrades, now my characters will have more abilities. They'll be able to do more things to earn even more in the game. One of the abilities I've already unlocked is the ability to see all the secrets in a stage. That's how I found the data card. So how cool is it that now as we do these stages, I'll be able to get a ton of the secrets that I didn't even know existed previously. So this is great. I'm very excited for more Lego actually moving forward. I think the playthrough is going to be even better than it had been previously, okay? So that's going to be the main stream on Wednesday, and on Wednesday night will be Skyrim After Hours, and we're going to be doing the companion quest line, which we kind of just started last night. Obviously, I like doing the major quest lines in Skyrim. They're very fun, and I'm excited to do that with all of you all Wednesday. Thursday will be the return, ladies and gentlemen. The return of Ask the King. For those of you who've only been watching me for 3 months, you have no idea what Ask the King even is. And I don't blame you. I'm a content creator who's been around a very long time, okay? When I first started out many years ago, people wanted a way to communicate with me outside of, like, video comments. And back then, I wasn't a live streamer. I just made on-demand videos on YouTube. So I created a series called Ask the King, by which people could submit their questions. I would pick the best ones, maybe ones that I have good answers for, or maybe I just feel they're the most pertinent. And I would sit down, and in a 2 to 3 hour long video, I would answer said questions. Okay, it was Q&A. And I would take the questions from various places, my website. Back then I had a Facebook, Twitter, etc. Now over the years the show has evolved. Now it's a live stream rather than just an on-demand video. Now I take questions live from the streaming audience at one point. And now, makes sense, I'm a live streamer on YouTube. Members, people who joined this channel as a member, get priority to get their questions answered on the show. Okay? But essentially it's the same show. Now you might say, well, why are you still doing Ask the King? This is weird because don't you answer questions every day? Like you do an interactive stream. You answer us every day. There's shout outs, there, you know, we have discussions. Why would you be doing a Q&A show? The answer, of course, is you're absolutely right. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. No. The answer is that people want it, okay? I, over the past 2 years, have several times suggested that maybe it is time to retire Ask the King. That this is a show that's been running since, like, I think it was like 2009 or 2010, okay? So you're talking a show that's been running for over a decade. And a show that's had almost 100 episodes, okay? And I think it's time to retire it. And every time I say those words and they come out of my mouth, my longtime fans come out of the woodwork and they say, hold on. They say, no. They want me to keep doing it. Okay? Why do they want me to keep doing it? Because it's one of the shows that I've been doing for the longest time. It's a legacy show. And if you look at my history as a content creator, which now is about to span 14 years, if you can believe it, people look back at the past and they like to think that there's remnants of the past that are still tied into my current stuff. You know? And a lot of my long-running shows from back in the day have been discontinued or retired. They just don't make sense anymore. For example, The Week in Preview was a series I did once a week where I did a preview of my schedule for the week. What's the point of doing that when I have an updated schedule every single day now? Release day unboxing. When I used to go buy physical copies of games and on release day, unpack them and do a video of that, and then talk a little bit about the game before I played the game. But today, most physical games don't have anything in the box besides the game disc. It's empty. No instructions, no promotional materials. The game box is boring as shit. There's no point to doing that. So what would I unbox? See? So all these shows over the years have essentially gone away and been phased out. And so now, here we are in the present day, and the only one that really remains is Ask the King. Okay? So, people want to see it continue. I think what it is even though every day you guys ask me questions, and on the fly I do my absolute best to try to answer them. If you haven't noticed, a lot of the times people will ask me something like, What's your favorite of this or that? What's your least favorite? What do you think is the best coming up? What do you think is the best of this year? What do you think is this and that? And those kind of questions, I don't have answers to. Those are questions that I want to sit down and I want to actually consider intelligently options and actually give you an intelligent answer. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to just kind of talk out of his butt all the time just for the sake of getting an answer out and moving on. So when I get asked a serious question like that, I'm like, damn, I can't answer that on the fly. I have no answers for you. I'm playing a game right now, you see? So when I do a show like Ask the King, what it allows me to do is sit down and think out more intelligent answers, more entertaining answers. Usually when someone asks me a question, on Ask the King, I'll take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes to answer it, as opposed to a question on my stream usually is like a quip, and then we're moving on, you see? So it's a more dedicated show, and I enjoy doing those kind of dedicated shows. In addition, there is an audience of mine who, if you can believe it, they don't necessarily just watch me play gameplay. In fact, a lot of people tell me they don't. They hate me. They hate my gameplay. They think I suck. But when I do a podcast, they like it. They'll watch the podcast every day, but as soon as the game comes on, they say, wow, I don't want to see this old 40-year-old schlub playing the fucking game. He's an asshole. And then they turn it off. So Ask the King is an opportunity for additional content, okay? Now, I used to do Ask the King bi-monthly, meaning every other month. At one point, I was doing it monthly. Then it went bi-monthly, okay? I haven't done it since Christmas week of 2021. What the hell happened and why didn't I do it for so long? Well, if you guys don't remember, back in the months of February and March, we had a crazy amount of new releases. I mean, just in the month of February alone. At the tail end of January, there was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Then there was Sifu and Dying Light 2. Then there was Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring. Also that month there was Martha is Dead that I didn't even play. And then the next month I continued to play those games and then more games came out. So basically I just never got around to doing it. I was too busy with so many game releases. There was just no opportunity for me to actually be doing Ask the King. Okay, it wouldn't have made sense to delay the hot new playthroughs everyone wanted to see to do Ask the King. But now, here we are, tail end of April. It makes a lot more sense to be doing the show now, right? Things have calmed down. Yes, I am still playing Elden Ring and the like, but there's nothing crazy urgent going on. And we can take our time to maybe do more relaxed and chill kind of content like this. And I'm excited to do this on Thursday. So, how can you get in on Ask the King? Method number 1. You can type ! Ask the King into the stream chat right now. The link will pop up. You click on that link. You go to my forums. You post up a question. Method number 2. If you're not live on stream, you can just go straight to the forums at DSPGaming.com. Go to the general area. And in there, there's a thread for Ask the King where you can post up your questions. Yes, the thread does say March because originally the show was supposed to be in February. Then it got delayed till March. And now it's April. But that is the correct thread. Okay? Method number 3. You can wait till the day of the show, Thursday, and on that day I post an open post on my Twitter at @TheyCallMeDSP, and I allow people to openly post questions that I will answer. Or, if you are a channel member, you are in luck. You are going to get a good benefit from being a member of DSP Gaming right now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a channel member, you can head over to the main channel page of DSP Gaming. You can head over to the community tab. You can scroll down and there is a members only post there. And if you respond to that post with questions, you are going to get priority access to have those questions answered live on the show. In fact, when I last did this show, Christmas week, the majority of questions I answered on the show were actually from the members. So, if you're not a member right now, I strongly urge you to become one. You're going to get a direct benefit right now. Chances are your question will be answered if you ask it in the members only post, but you got to be a member to see it. So what are you waiting for? What is your problem? Come on. Whatever you're doing right now. Are you buttering your toast? Put the knife down, put the toast down. Are you grooming your pet with a brush? Well, take the giant tuft of hair, put it to the side, put down the brush, push the pet off your lap, okay? Are you taking a shit? Well, hurry the fuck up and squish that turd out of your ass and jump over to your mobile device or your computer and become a member of DSP Gaming right now. Get going. What do you get for being a member? A million things. You get a chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. You get a highlighted name both in stream chat and in the video comments. You get to use my emotes in stream chat and in video comments. Someone comes to your house, Fia comes to your house and hugs you. She gives you the death curse, but she hugs you. Okay, that part doesn't happen. But you get many benefits for being a member. And it helps the channel. And in addition to that, if you become a member and we hit the goal for the month of 400, special event happens where I'm going to be watching a video about me called Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil that came out 5 years ago. It covers my history as a content creator from my early years all the way up to 2017, and it covers both the good and bad. Most of the stuff in there is very factual, and it's not very awesome to go back and relive some of your mistakes over time, but it actually makes sense because you can learn from your mistakes, as I feel that I have in the past 5 years. And people have asked me to watch this video in particular for a very long time because it has over 6 million views on YouTube, and it's a way that many people at first were introduced to me, and now they know me by this video, so it makes sense if I watch the video and I react to it and I add stuff to it like commentary. It would be really cool. But if we're going to do that, we got to hit the members' goal. Okay? And if we hit the members goal for the month, this could open a whole other avenue of content. Because people have already said, well, all right, that's great that you do your own, but if that's successful, would you do more? Well, there's other videos like that. There's a whole giant one on Wings of Redemption, right? There's other videos that have been made about me. There's things that we could do, that we could consider. But we got to do this first. And if we don't do this, you know what that tells me? People aren't interested. That it's all bullshit. That over the years that people have asked me for this, all they wanted was a little bit of drama, and they don't actually care about it. Because if they did, this would have already happened. Seriously. We've got less than 2 weeks left, and you're telling me that 30 people can't become a member to see me do something you've asked me to do for 5 years? Bullshit. Okay. So let's make it happen. Okay. So anyway, yeah, becoming a member would help you right now, because on Ask the King, you'll get your question high chance to be answered. I'm not guaranteeing it because there's always a chance that a member would ask something silly or stupid or something that I've answered a million times. I'm not going to reiterate the same answer again. But in general, most people are going to get their questions answered, so please consider it, okay? All right. So this week, coming up, there'll be a balance between Lego Star Wars and Elden Ring. Elden Ring will actually, after today, continue on Friday. I know that's a long time to wait, but that's just what's going on this week because we got Lego, then Ask the King, so then Elden Ring actually continues on Friday, okay? So there you go. It's going to be a balance between Lego and Elden Ring, and then the night streams are going to be a balance between Skyrim and games that you're going to vote on from Game Pass. We're going to rotate the selections around, so we're not doing the same games back-to-back. So, for example, if Outer Wilds does win and we play it tonight, I'm not playing it again later this week. We'll alternate the games around so there's variety on the late streams, okay? Although that game will eventually go back into the running for our stream later on so that we can make better progress in it, okay? Now, the next major game that I'm playing is going to be WWE 2K22. You've asked for this game since March. I'm not telling you, yes, I'm playing it. It's the next major game I'm playing, but we got to either finish Elden Ring or Lego first, all right? And then, once we beat the other game, then we decide what's next, and I don't even know. Will we go back to Dying Light 2? Do you guys want to see me play a Game Pass game more seriously? I don't know what we're doing. We'll think about it and talk about it when we get to that, okay? The good news is in May, there's a few new releases. I don't know how high profile they're going to be, but there are some new releases in May. There's nothing going on for the next, 2 weeks, so. Okay. Cool. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no game news today at all. I looked and I couldn't find a damn thing. There's a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of drama, a bunch of stupid shit. I'm not talking about that today. So what I'll do is we'll do shout-outs. And after the shout-outs are completed, we'll probably do some Q&A. And then we'll go from there. All right? So let's first of all start on the YouTube side of things. On the YouTube side of things, we got Local Nomad, who re-upped his membership for 12 months. Thank you, Local Nomad. Now, you may have noticed something, Local Nomad, and or anyone who's been watching the stream chat recently, and you're seeing, oh, some people say they're re-upping their memberships for 12 months. That means they've actually been a member on Phil's channel for a whole year. So that means they should get a cool new chat crown badge, right? That would be cool. No. Because the way YouTube works is a little different than Twitch. On Twitch, for it to say you're a 12-month subscriber, okay, you actually have to be subscribed for a full year. On YouTube, when it says you're a 12-month subscriber, it essentially means you're entering month number like 11, so you're getting to 12. I know that sounds really weird. The moment you become a member on YouTube, it says, oh, you're a 1-month member. No, you're not. You just became a member. But that's what YouTube says. It like jumps the gun with the way that it counts things. I first noticed this several months ago when people were supposed to be earning like their 3-month badge or their 6-month badge, and they weren't getting it yet. And they were confused, and I was like, I wonder what's going on. And I looked into it. Yeah, so anyone right now who says, oh, you're a 12-month member, well, if you remember, I didn't become a full-time streamer here on YouTube until May of last year, okay? So that's when I turned on all the monetization options, including the memberships and the super chats and all of that. So technically, you couldn't have been a member for a year yet, you see? We got 1 more month to go. So next month, people who are becoming 12-month members should see a new regal-looking crown. It's really nice. It's incredibly different from the crowns that you guys are seeing right now in the chat. It really is. And I know that you guys are going to like it, thanks to those who have become ongoing supporters of this channel and its growth. I really appreciate that. And next month, you'll get rewarded for that. But I apologize that YouTube is kind of misleading in the way that it describes and tracks memberships. Okay? All right. Our first super chat of the day is Zoya, who says, Cat must have beat Skyrim 10 times now. Does she use mods? No, she actually doesn't. She just uses whatever's in the game by default. And like me, right now, she's playing Anniversary Edition. So she is doing the Creation Club content. But she's not... Oh my god, I'm exploding. Oh my god. Whew. Oh, Mega Man. Oh, I'm sorry. He's turning green. I burped right in his face. She's not using any mods at all. She's just playing the straight Anniversary version, just like I am. Okay? Ruby has done a super chat and says the following. You said during summertime you want to play retro games from your childhood. Why not play the Disney collection? You already own it and it could be chill. Now, I don't particularly remember what games are in the Disney collection. I know that I bought it many years ago. All right, it was like on sale or something. I think actually, I think I bought it for like under $5. It was like really cheap or something, so I got it. I don't even remember what I have it on. I think it's PlayStation, right? I think I have it on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it on Xbox. So, I guess step 1, I have to figure out what games are in it, because I don't even know. Okay. Step 2, I have to see, did I play some of those already? Because I'm almost positive. Oh, here we go. It has DuckTales 1 and 2, Darkwing Duck, Chip 'n Dale 1 and 2, and Tailspin. So out of those, I've played DuckTales 1. I played it many years ago. Remember, DuckTales was remade and re-released many years ago. I want to say it was like 2014 or 2015 when it was redone and re-released. And it was full of bugs at launch, I remember. Still a good game, but man, it was full of bugs and glitches. And I played it, and I probably wouldn't do that again. Out of all of those other ones, I don't know what one people would even be interested in seeing me play. The thing is, I've never played any of them. When I say I want to do a summer of retro, essentially what I'm saying is, I want to go back and play games from my youth that I've played before, that I love and cherish as games that I grew up playing. So when I play those playthroughs, they'll feel different than my normal content. When I normally play a game and it's my first time playing it, I don't know what's coming. I'm genuinely surprised. I have reactions that are, honest to what's going on. And a lot of the times, I get my ass handed to me, and you guys find it very entertaining to see me fail over and over at a game when I don't know what's coming. I don't know how to beat it, right? But when I play... stupid thing. When I play games from my past, and I play and I know the game, and I know some stuff about the game, like interesting ways to play it, maybe some secrets about the game, ways to get through it a lot easier, strategies for certain parts of the game, like bosses and challenges. When I know the lore of the game and I can add to that by explaining during the course of the playthrough, something different happens, okay? Definitely I feel a lot more relaxed because I don't feel pressure to really like, oh, I have to persevere at this game. It's like, no, I know this game. I'm good. I can sit here and I can relax and I can have a good time with it and share that genuine love and passion that I have for that particular game with my audience. And this has happened many times over the years. You see it with games like Street Fighter 2 every Friday. You see it with games such as Final Fantasy 3 and, Final Fantasy 4 and 6, which to me were 2 and 3 when I was growing up on the SNES, okay? Among other classics like that. But in general, right, when I play these kind of games, it's a different kind of playthrough, for sure. It's a very different kind of playthrough. And that's really what I'm going for. If I'm going to do in the summertime, let's say I'm going to play one of these games at a time. Let's say I start with, I don't know, Chrono Trigger or Link to the Past, and then maybe I play Earthbound or something. I'll be doing it as a night stream. I'll be alternating it with other content. So that way it's not going to be dominant. It's not going to take up all my time. And people won't complain that I'm playing too much old stuff, okay? But really, that was the point I was making. Is it possible that I could play the Disney Afternoon Collection at one point, Ruby? Yes. I own it. But I think at this point, I want to go back to my past as a gamer, the games that were formative for me in the 90s. And I want to replay them and experience them again with you guys in an interactive live streaming setting. Most of these games, when I played them a decade ago, it was just me kind of playing them for myself and zero interaction or anything like that. And I want to change that, okay? That's really what I'm going for if I play this kind of retro games in the summer of retro coming up this year. All right? So I hope you guys get that. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Now, Zoya did another super chat and says, do you think less gameplay has led to less support? I don't even know what that means. I haven't played less gameplay. So, the answer is no. Since I haven't done less gameplay, there's no way that it's led to less support. There you go. Okay. Let's head over to the tip side of things. On the tip side of things, we have one tip so far today. Okay? All right. CM Fool has tipped $4.20, and he says the following. DSP, I went to the doctor with a broken arm. The doctor came out. He was wearing an Elden Ring t-shirt, and he told me it is my fault that I broke my arm, so get good scrub. There you go. So I guess immediately you sued him for malpractice and you became a millionaire. I understand. Awesome, CM Fool. If only lawsuits went that fast, huh? Instant gratification for wrongdoing. You wasted my time and money. Now, I own your soul. Hash it out in litigation in court. That's how it works. Only takes years and years of pain and suffering to do that. Okay. Before we continue on, my allergies are bothering me. I'd like to blow my nose. Please excuse me. I'm just messing with you guys. Okay. So, one quick follow-up that I'd like to do with you guys. Okay? Let's do a little bit of a follow-up in regards to ants. Because earlier this week, I shared a story with you about ants. And how ants were bothering us here in Washington. Ants have invaded our lives. And it's not good. Okay? I want to give you guys a follow-up. The follow-up is thus. Well, let me summarize the story. We had ants. They were coming in, supposedly we figured, from our back door, because we have a back screen door, and there's really no way to completely plug up the door. I mean, it's rare when a bug gets in it, but I guess we're assuming the ants had found a way to just crawl through the screen door, no problem, which sucks, even locked and everything. They were still finding a way through, because ants don't care about locks. They go through the cracks. And apparently, they had found, or at least got the whiff of food in our house. So, it started off with like 1 or 2 ants, then it started off with like 5 ants, and then it got to the point where one day there was 30 ants. We're like, that's enough of this shit. We had enough. So we put out traps, we did a thorough deep cleaning of the floor, meaning vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, bleaching, everything we could. And then what I've been doing every day is I have a can of bug spray, and I go out back, and I actually spray a perimeter of the back of my house. The whole back of my house, I go along the edge, and then the bottom of the door, the screen door, I spray. So basically, the bugs stay the fuck away from the back of the house. Because there's bug spray there. They're not going to go there, okay? It's now been several days, Okay? The ants are gone. When we first did the deep cleaning, okay, we didn't see any ants that night. The next morning we saw 2 stragglers, essentially, and they looked lost. They weren't together. They were separated. There was no conga line of ants. You know, when ants are going on a search party to get food, they all go in a line together, like do. They like party. They are. There's like a party line. They're going through, and then they go and they get the food, and they grab the food, and they hold the food above their heads, and they walk out. They go do, just like that. It's pretty cool, actually. If you ever seen ants in the wild, or if you ever seen ants doing their thing, it's pretty darn cool. I don't know how the hell they pulled that off. They're pretty smart for little guys. So anyway, the good news is that we did not see any ants together. We saw 2 that were like stragglers, not knowing where they were going. And what we figured was these were 2 guys who had been hiding out in the house, and they kind of came out like, hey, where is everyone? Well, they're all dead. Okay? Since then, we have seen 0 ants. It has now been 3 days in a row. We have not seen any ants at all. Now, I'm not saying there's no ants, because bugs can be pretty elusive when they want to be. But what I'm saying is, for the effective future, we have eliminated the problem. Okay? We have 6 traps out in the house. If the ants grab any food from those traps and goes back to the nest, that's the end of the nest. Maybe that happened. We don't know, but it might have happened. But every day I will also be spraying the back of the house with the bug spray. I'm almost out. I think I have enough for just today, but tomorrow I'm going to go out and buy another can. And I'm going to do it probably for like another whole week. So that way, you'll figure after like a week and a half to 2 weeks, the ants will learn, there's no food here, it's dangerous, don't fucking come back. Okay? I wish I knew where they were in the yard. I looked out there. As I told you guys, I can't figure it out because the way our yard is set up, it's really stupid. Alright? Everyone else in this entire facility that I live, it's a private community. Everyone else who lives here has a nice backyard, grass, able to plant stuff, gardens, beautiful. The idiotic people who own this before I bought it, in all of their wisdom, because they're morons, they put fucking concrete squares down on top of the dirt. Okay? First of all, it looks terrible, because it's not even. I mean, there's no way that was going to stay even. You put concrete squares on top of fucking unleveled dirt. You dunce. What did you think would happen over the years? It would stay nice and flat? No. It looks like this. They're all fucking going all over the place. It looks terrible. Okay? So right now what we got, you got a bunch of concrete squares with weeds and moss and shit growing up between the squares. Okay? And then on the far side of the yard, we got dirt. And there's like some bushes and things, like a tree. And that's nice. But the thing is, we don't know where could these ants be from. They could be coming up from between the cracks. We wouldn't know. They could be coming from over the dirt. And the thing is, here in Washington State, it's very wet. It's a very wet state in general. It's just wet all the time. It's damp. So it's not like you go out there and look. Because I know from a fact from when I lived in Connecticut that it's easy to find an anthill if it's dry. Because if it's dry, you can see where the hole is. The hole stands out in dry dirt. In wet dirt, everything looks the fucking same. You can't see anything. Okay? So it sucks. Can't figure it out. Don't know where the ants are coming from. Eddie just says, is that better for you because you wouldn't mow the lawn? You can't afford a gardener? That's ridiculous. We have landscapers who do this for us. In fact, I'm getting cheated because I'm paying the same as everyone else in condo dues to have landscapers come do our landscaping, and we have no landscaping to do in the backyard because it's fucking concrete. So I'm getting ripped off. I'm ripping pissed. That's it. I'm ripping pissed. I'm getting up again. Fuck this. Fuck this shit. Okay. So the good news is I can use all this anger. I can use it in Elden Ring today. I can focus my anger towards bosses and things and try to pound them. Just pound them into submission just like that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Okay. So that being said, the ant situation seems to be under control. I hope they don't come back. I mean, I felt bad killing them to begin with. But there's so many of them. Like, what am I going to do? If I saw 1 or 2 of them, maybe you throw them out the back door. But when you see that many, like, all right, I just got to start killing them. You know, it sucks. I don't want to. But it is what it is. So let's hope they don't come back and it's not an issue any longer. The good news is it wasn't a big, expensive problem. It wasn't. It was basically buy some traps. The traps were very inexpensive. You get right off of Amazon, and you put them down. And a thorough cleaning and a can of bug spray, which I already had, and I'll just buy another one. What's it going to be, like $5? It ain't going to be a big deal. So thank God it wasn't some big expensive pain in the ass. Okay. I got another super chat. Who's this from? Ruby. Another super chat from Ruby. So what is it like having your house connected to other houses? Do you get crazy noise complaints like you did in the condo? No, in fact, we're less noisy than the neighbors. We are. Excuse me. Oh my God, I can't stop burping now. On the one side of the house, okay, that side of the house is a person who's very to themselves quiet. And the good news is I'm in the office on this side of the house. There's a whole insulation padding, so they don't hear me. I've actually asked that person. I said, "Do you ever hear me when I'm doing my things online? Do you ever hear me talking?" And they're like, "No, I can't hear you at all. The only time I ever hear you is if you have your window open." And they happen to be like walking in front of the house, and I'm very, very agitated about a game. I start screaming, then they'll hear me screaming. But that's about it. Like in a daily session of recording or broadcasting, no one hears me, which is good. And the thing is, I have soundproofing foam all over the walls here, so no one's going to hear me doing that stuff anyway. It negates the sound, okay? What I do here is this side, it's a family, and they have kids and stuff, and it's loud. And you can hear kids running around, you can hear banging and slamming at all hours of the night because of the kids. It's like, what are you going to do? The kid has toys. You probably haven't heard it, but the kid has this new toy. I don't know if it's like a toy ambulance or gun, but I just keep hearing like woo woo woo, like a siren or like a whoop whoop sound, and you can tell it's a toy that keeps going off, and I hear it tons of times a day. They must be outside or near a window setting it off. It's like, you hear it, it's like, it's not a big deal, You want to know where the problem was? Like you're saying, like my old neighbors, when I lived in Connecticut, on the one side I had a neighbor who was a drunk. Like he was just a stone-faced drunk. Every night, this guy would drink himself into a stupor. And he would go to his back porch, and he would sit there, yelling, smoking, being on the phone. Dude, you're on the phone talking about private shit, and you're sitting on your back porch yelling the private shit. No one wants to hear about your problems. No one cares about you. Maybe the person on the other end of the phone, but no one around you. We don't want to see you sitting on the back porch yelling and screaming like an asshole. Okay? And this guy would get drunk all the time. And there were 2 different times. He got drunk. He wanted to check his mail in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. He wants to check his mail. So he goes to the front, to the mail room, okay, gets his mail, comes back and realizes he locked himself out of his fucking place. What an asshole. So now he's asking me, he knocks on my fucking door at 2 in the morning. Hey, can you let me in? So that I can either jump across to my front door, which is unlocked, or can I crawl across your deck to my deck and get in my back door? I'm like, what the fuck? This guy's a fucking crazy idiot. And it wasn't once, twice. Now, across the hallway from me at that place, and yes, across the fucking hallway, there was a young family, a husband and wife who had 2 kids, and their kids were the loudest kids I've ever heard. It was constant yelling, screaming, and noise. Thumping, yelling, and I would be sitting there recording in my living room. So I'm in an open-air living room. We're talking maybe 20, 30 feet from where they're making their noise across a hallway, and I could hear all of it, screaming. That was bad. They moved out, though. They actually moved out after about 2 years of living there. They left. So then that noise stopped being a problem. But yeah, that's the thing. When you live in a place like that, here's the difference. Here, this is a townhouse, okay? So it's a 3-unit big building, but each unit is essentially its own house. Okay, spacious. The walls are not paper thin, which is good. So you don't really hear that much. Every once in a while, you hear something, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay. When I lived in Connecticut, all right, that was, even though it was supposed to be a condo, it was like living in an apartment. okay? You could hear everything. The people above me would regularly be stomping, and I hear stomp, stomp, stomp on the fucking ceiling. Whenever they turned on their TV to watch TV, I heard everything. I heard the whole show. It was terrible. And like I already said, the neighbor there was a drunk, and across, that was just bad. And I was paying out the ass for that place. Like, it was very expensive to live there for literally no benefit. It was like living in a cramped apartment. It was a waste of time, a waste of money. But I didn't, I moved there because I was moving towards a job, and we're not going to talk about that today on the pre-stream. No, we're not doing that. I refuse. What's the difference between a townhouse and a condo? There is some kind of a legal difference. I don't exactly know the legal difference. I think a condo is just considered anywhere you live that you own it, but there's common things. Like, for example, there's an association that takes care of common things for everyone who lives there. So maintenance on certain things, landscaping, things like that is taken care of by the association. You live in a condo, okay, condominium. Townhouse, I believe, it's more describing the style of the home and the fact that you kind of own the house itself. And it's like I said, there's a legal thing about it, and I don't exactly know the difference. But this is a townhouse. I know that for a fact. When people have recently actually been putting their homes up for sale in here, they list it as a townhouse. So, okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've gotten through all of the contributions so far. So what I will now do is I will open up the pre-stream to live questions. Okay, let's see what people have to ask me today. What's my take on accessory dwelling units? I don't even know what that means. I have no clue what an accessory dwelling unit is. Big Meech says, can I get a shout out? Oh, Big Meech, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How you doing, man? Would I ever live in a mobile home? Not if I could help it. Why would I want to live in a mobile home? Unless it's dirt cheap. But man, talk about being cramped, right? You want space. In life, the ultimate goal is to have space, right? When I lived in Connecticut, it was cramped. Everything in Connecticut was small, condensed, not a lot of space for yourself. And so many people living in a small area. Whenever you wanted to drive somewhere, there was tons of traffic everywhere. Everywhere you went, there was lines. I moved out to Washington. It's completely different. Less people, less crowding, more space per person. Everything out here is much nicer in that regard. That's why I moved out here. Okay. Do I feel safer in Washington or Connecticut? Well, the truth of the matter is that feeling safe is an illusion. There's no such thing as safety anywhere. It's just levels of feeling like you're not going to have something bad happen to you. You know what I mean? There's crime both in Connecticut and Washington. In Connecticut, in the places where I was growing up, the crime got very, very bad, and the neighborhoods got very, very bad. And that's why I moved from my parents' place to the condo. It was one of the major reasons I did, because it was a slightly better area. But even then, it was bad. I would definitely say, is there crime out here? Absolutely. In fact, the biggest problem they're having right now in Washington State with crime is theft. People just walking in the stores, stealing shit, walking right the fuck out, and no one's stopping them, and the police aren't catching them. There's actually, check this out. There is someone in Washington State who's ripping off all the ATMs. All of them. They basically are doing various different things. Sometimes they steal a truck, and they drive through the glass doors of like a Walgreens or a drugstore. They run in, rob the ATM, and leave, and just leave the truck. And then what they've also been doing, they have crowbars and things. And again, if you're at a grocery store and you have the initial line of doors and there's an ATM inside before you get to the second line of doors that goes to the actual store, they just rip the lock off the first door, go in, rob the ATM, and leave. And this is everywhere. I've seen it everywhere. Drugstores, grocery stores, actual banks. This has been taking place. It's actually a crime spree, and no one stopped them. They're just doing it constantly, and no one's stopping them at all. So, crime is still bad everywhere, but in general, like violent crime, like when I go out here in Washington on my day off, no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about getting robbed. I'm not really worried about that kind of shit. Now, I mean, that's a lot of times because I do stuff smart. I go out there in the daytime, not night. I go to safer places where there's a lot of people as opposed to a place where I'm very isolated by myself. You know what I mean? You got to do stuff wisely. But in Connecticut, it was getting to a point where it was very bad. That no matter where you went, there was always a risk of some kind of bad, violent crime happening. And I'm glad I got out of there. I know people think that's funny, like, oh, Connecticut's just a bunch of rich white people. No, that's Greenwich, Connecticut. That's one area of Connecticut. The rest of Connecticut is actually not very nice at all. Okay. I'm trying to read questions, but everything's scrolling off the screen so quick I can't read it. Have I ever done a craft as a hobby? Like knitting? No, I haven't. I've had hobbies like collecting. I used to collect baseball cards and comic books, and that kind of stuff. Okay, the only hobby I would say that I had when I was a kid, there was a few models that I built with my dad. One of them was a giant Venom model. It was vinyl model. You glue the limbs together and hand paint it with acrylic paint. That was fun, but it was incredibly messy. But we had a lot of fun doing it together. But outside of that, no, I've never really had like an artsy, crafty hobby. Shout out to Abdullah, who just re-upped his membership. He said, would you ever consider moving to New Hampshire? In truth, I know nothing about New Hampshire. I don't know a single thing. So me saying anything about New Hampshire would be incredibly uneducated. All I know is that when I lived in Connecticut, I did not like the weather. Because in Connecticut, you would have the extremes. You would have the extreme heat, extreme humidity, thunderstorms, and crazy weather in the summer and fall. And then when it got to winter, you'd have crazy ice, crazy snow. It was like two complete polar opposites living in Connecticut. So I would assume New Hampshire would probably be closer to that because it is closer to Connecticut. Out here, I have more moderate weather, which is what I'm looking for. The fact that I don't need to have an air conditioner blasting all year is great. So likely that would be the one thing that would deter me from like moving back to the East Coast. But outside of that, I don't know really much about New Hampshire. If you had information about New Hampshire that's attractive, maybe I would listen. Okay? Okay. Do I enjoy halal food? Now, what is halal food? Is halal food that's, is it like for, now I could be completely wrong. Is that a term that means that it's been like blessed by a religious person? Like, you know how in Jewish food, they have the food that's been blessed by a rabbi or whatever it's called, kosher? Is that what halal is? I don't know what halal means. Okay, there's a certain way to slaughter an animal that's called halal. Okay. It's food slaughtered in an Islamic fashion. Oh, see, I had no clue. I had absolutely no idea. Zero. So is it supposed to be better? Is it supposed to be like healthier, or is it supposed to be tastier? I don't understand that. What is the end what is the end result of doing that? It's food said that they're sanctioned to eat under their religion. They have to eat it they're prepare it in a certain way. Huh. It's more for religion than taste. It doesn't really change the taste. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't know anything about that. I don't know if I've ever even had it, honestly. I've eaten, like, Middle Eastern / even Mediterranean food where it's that style of food. But I don't know if they prepare it like that. I have no idea. All right, let's continue. Am I planning on clearing a secret boss at the Halley Tree, and do I like pug dogs? I told you, I want to do everything. I want to do absolutely everything I can. Is the West Coast more laid back? Yes. Almost to like, I hate to say it, but almost to like an extreme. That's kind of like not good. When I first visited the West Coast, many years ago, my first experience coming to the West Coast, I came to California in the year 2000, and I stayed with my friend who lived in Orange County, California, and we hung out for about a week and a half, and then we went to a Street Fighter tournament together, okay? What I noticed is that on the West Coast, people in some ways are a lot nicer. Like, for example, you're going to cross the street, 9 times out of 10, the car stops and they give you the right of way. Go ahead. And I was like, on the East Coast, you try to cross the street, that fucker actually tries to hit you. Like, they're swerving at you. I'm not kidding either. East Coast is fucking crazy. People out there don't give a shit. They're like, fuck you, I got right of way. Even if I don't, get the fuck out of my way. If you step the wrong way, I'll crush your ass and drive away. That's how they are on the East Coast. You got to be careful. Okay? West Coast is like everyone's relaxed and nice and courteous to each other. All right? But it's almost like to the point where it's too much. And what I mean by that is everyone out here is so laid back. Okay? Everyone is literally like, how can I say it? Like they want to avoid any kind of problem at any turn. If there's a workplace dispute, they will literally rather ignore the problem and pretend like it doesn't exist than actually try to handle it. That's how they are. Like everyone just everything's fine. Just ignore any problems, ignore any issues. They'll just handle themselves. That's kind of, it's like a ultimate hands-off approach, which is just as bad as the opposite. You know what I mean? Like I've told you guys in life, extremes are not good. When you're all the way one way or you're all the way the other way, right? You cause problems. You have to have a middle ground where it makes sense. You weigh and balance how you're going to act in certain situations and things like that. But oh my God, it's to the point where like everything's more slow moving out here. Everyone's just like, hey man, just calm down, man. Everything's fine, man. Don't freak. Don't have a cow, man. But it gets annoying. It's like, well, dude, I want to do something today. I don't want to sit and wait in line for 14 hours. I want to get this done. I want to do this. And they're like, nah, man, just go with the flow, bro. Don't worry about nothing and everything will just fall in line. That's not how life works, actually. Life does actually take some effort. But the people out here don't really seem to know that. It's hilarious because, as I've told you guys, living in Washington State, having people who, like, if there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground, they shut the state down and they act like it's the end of the world. Snowpocalypse. There's 2 inches of fucking snow. Go fucking move it and drive. They won't. They seriously shut everything down. It's insanity how they act out here. So there you go. Well, I admit to using guides for Elden Ring. It's obvious that I'm doing it and I'm being dishonest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my playthrough of Elden Ring, I've been cheating all along. I've been using guides the entire time in every piece of gameplay I've made of Elden Ring. I admit it. That's it. That's the big expose. It'll be front page news. Elden Ring, I've been cheating all along. In fact, the gameplay you're seeing on my streams of Elden Ring is not even me. I stole other people's gameplay and I'm rebroadcasting it here live on YouTube as my own. Not a single piece of gameplay has genuinely been mine. It's someone else playing for me in Elden Ring. There you go. Anyway. Oh, let's see here. No, we don't smoke any bud. We don't smoke. And anything. We don't smoke at all. It's not that we just don't smoke weed. I don't care if you smoke weed or not. Do whatever you want. I don't smoke anything. I don't like smoking. Would I consider writing a book? Who the hell writes a book? Seriously, I mean that too. Like, who writes a book? In 2022, who the fuck writes books? Right? If anything, I would do a series on my life, right? Going through the different times, eras of my life, going through the things that I went through. I would do a video series. Why would I do a book? Who the fuck makes a book? The only people who make books are people who think they're so pretentious. They think they're so important. Oh, I want to be immortalized in a book, so I got to do like an autobiography about myself because I'm so interesting. Oh, and I've seen it. I've seen the stupid YouTuber books. Who fucking cares? Wipe your ass with your fucking book. No one cares about your stupid story besides your existing fan base, so stop stroking your own goddamn ego. No one cares about you. Okay. Blink, I did hear that at least one of these non-for-profit movements calling themselves Black Lives Matter apparently bought a mansion with the money. It's fucked up. I've been telling you guys this over the years. You got to be very, very careful when you donate money to any nonprofit, okay? Supposed nonprofit, I should say. You've got to be incredibly careful. You've got to do your research. Just because there's an emotional movement at the time for something does not mean that what you're doing is going to go towards what you think it's going towards. Seriously. There's people who, I hate to say it, they take advantage of people a lot. All right? And, there's an emotional moment in history. Let's make a non-for-profit and say we're going to help people and then fucking do all horrible things with the money. Or let's keep 95% of the money to self-pay ourselves and claim it's operational costs, and only 5% of the donations actually go towards the cause, right? It's pretty stupid. And pretty fucked up that it's allowed to happen. You just got to be careful. And I think what happened is, yes, 2 years ago, you had the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of people got emotionally invested. Oh, everyone donate. Everyone did. And then no one kept track of the money. And what happens? It gets misappropriated, misused. It's fucked up. It shouldn't happen, but it does all the time with these movements. So you got to be incredibly careful about this stuff. Can I pin the PreStream podcast playlist to the top of YouTube? It would make it easier to find stuff and to scroll down forever. Well, I like to put my most highlighted playthroughs at the top of YouTube. But if you thought that it would benefit from like being the second or third most pinned thing, I guess I could do that. Here, let me take a look. Customize channel. And look at it right now. Right now, I have it. Let's see. Almost all the way at the bottom next to the daily wrap. I suppose I could pull it up a bit. Here, I'll pull it up to be the second playlist. How about that? Publish. There you go. No biggie. That's an easy one. That's one I can do right on the fly. No skin off my back. Easy mode. So there you go. Do I feel hardcore Elden Ring fans are purposefully not watching and supporting on other streams to force your hand in doing a second Elden Ring run right away? I don't think hardcore Elden Ring fans watch my content. Hardcore Elden Ring fans watch the big Elden Ring players who are now doing probably their 17th run. They're not watching Darkside Phil play Elden Ring, so what are you talking about? Alice Telemon to me $1.50. He says, of all the stories you told about your tournament years, how much in percentages have you told? How much is left? There is your video story right there. Oh. I have no idea. I seriously have no idea. Because the thing is, during my tournament years, there was so much travel. There was so much stress. There was so much grind involved. I couldn't even remember off the top of my head the places I've been and where, when I went there. There's some places I've been once or twice, never went back. There's people I haven't talked to in a million years. That's the problem. Like, for me to outline, I could probably highlight some of the more interesting moments from my tournament career if I could remember them. I would have to try real hard to remember them. But in general, it would be more like highlights of what I can remember. Because that was, I started traveling for tournaments in the late 90s. And I did so regularly all the way through 2007. And it really was at the end of 2007's tournament season, EVO. I remember getting home, and I unpacked, and I sat down, and I said, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I going so crazy to play Street Fighter? I'm spending all my time and money. What really got me is that was the last time that I've been to Vegas, was 2007. I came home, and I sat down, and I said, I was just in Las Vegas, and I didn't gamble, and I didn't see a show, and I didn't eat any of the good food there. I didn't even go to the strip. I sat inside of a fucking hotel ballroom like an asshole playing Street Fighter for like 4 or 5 straight days, and then I flew right back home. And I said, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I actually had an epiphany. Now, it wasn't that I didn't want to play Street Fighter ever again. I liked the games, but I was like, what kind of a lifestyle is this? That I'm spending all of my time and effort and money when I'm not working, I'm not doing that kind of stuff. Everything is going into this lifestyle of grind. Play the games, travel to play people from all over different areas, run tournaments. I was a tournament organizer at that point on the East Coast. Run tournaments on the East Coast, travel to play in tournaments and everything. And basically after doing it for so many years, I was like, what am I doing this for? Like, what's the end game goal? There was none. It wasn't like, even if I won EVO, what would have fucking mattered? It didn't really matter at all. And I was like, man, at this point, I had to reassess what I was doing. to basically do things better in my life and say this is too much investment of time, effort, and too much stress, and I want to do other things. And I did. That was kind of like my retirement from the competitive scene. Now I did reemerge in the competitive scene years later when Street Fighter 4 came out. For about a year and a half, I tried to play it. I tried to run tournaments. And then after that, I decided, because I was a YouTuber at the same time, I just wanted to be a YouTuber. Being a YouTuber was infinitely more interesting than doing that tournament grind. But if you look at my entire history, so you're talking about, you know, my history growing up in arcades in the 90s, that's like one era that I can talk about and outline. Then I could talk about becoming a competitive player in the late 90s, early 2000s, and how that experience was. Then I could kind of talk about mid 2000s when I actually got good at Super Turbo and I got some notoriety in Street Fighter and I became a tournament organizer. That's like a third era in my Street Fighter days. And my last days would probably be around the era of Street Fighter 4 / Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and that was the end of it. Since then, I haven't played competitively at all. You see, so it's probably like 4 eras in my Street Fighter years that I could outline. But could I actually do like talk about every tournament? No, I can't remember 90% of them. Probably it's just gonna be like things in my mind that I could go through my formative years and things like that. If you guys were ever be interested in a series like that, like I said, you know, me going through the history of my Street Fighter days, you know, and covering how the community grew from doing arcades to grassroots organizations, running tournaments, to extrapolating then controversy, fucking conspiracy, all kinds of messed up stuff, drama, rivalries, leading to all kinds of things going on, and then actually getting serious about it in the mid 2000s. I could do a whole series on that if people were interested in that. You see? And how cool would that be? Because that's what I've been telling you guys. What I know is that as I get older here, all right, there's absolutely, positively no way I'm going to be able to keep doing this full time. And what I mean by that is gaming. I love gaming. I want to do gaming for as long as I possibly can do it, but I'm going to get older. And already I'm seeing shortcomings. I'm starting to see carpal tunnels creeping up. There's going to be issues. And I'm going to have to start splitting my time up. That I can't just be a full-time gamer anymore. There has to be a split between this and doing other stuff that's not just gaming. So this is a good opportunity to maybe do something that's different. Have things that people are interested in that I can have, you know, input on. Instead of just playing games and fucking around in games and stuff like that. Because the thing is, I hate to say it, most people on the internet know me as some asshole who yells at games, right? I have a lot of knowledge from the time period that I grew up. Those were the formative years of games, both arcades and console games. I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight I feel I can add to these discussions. Does anyone come to Dark Side Phil for that? No. So I just sit here playing games. But maybe this is something that we could do in the future. Okay? Okay. Alright, I'm just going to get rid of both these people who are both spamming nonsense. Just get rid of them. Enough. Learn to behave and then you can come back, stupid. Okay. Did I ever wear a diaper at EVO? Not at EVO. Not at EVO. But I did suffer from swamp ass at EVO because I wasn't wearing a diaper. Swamp ass is very much real and very much disgusting. Okay. Okay, guys, anything else? Any last minute questions, contributions, anything to get shouted out before we begin with Elden Ring for the day? Claws of Redemption says, am I planning on streaming and commenting on the Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole video? As I said, for that to happen, there'd have to be quite a few factors that would happen and go right. Number one, we got to hit the members goal for this month and do the video on me first. If that's successful, then I would consider it. Number two, that's something that I would want to get permission both from the maker of the video, Frederick Knudsen, and from Wings. I want to be sure that stuff that I do on the internet is not harmful to people, because I care. I'm not going to just fucking do something for personal gain and end up hurting a bunch of people in the process. So there have to be a few qualifying things that would happen, but I'm not saying it's a impossibility. In fact, I think it might be an educating experience because everyone always references that guy on my streams, and at half the time I have no clue what the fuck anyone's talking about. Yes, we're using ultra low latency mode. Correct. I literally just said I wasn't wearing a diaper. What are you talking about? God, people are stupid. Does Review Take USA have it down the rabbit hole? No, because no one would watch it. No one cares about him. Who cares about that guy? That would have 0 views. Jade says he always plays with Melina, Jade, and Katana in Mortal Kombat. So you basically you play with the same person with a color swap. No, I'm joking. Obviously, today those are very different characters. Back in the day, in the older Mortal Kombat games, they were the same person. There was just the same person with a color swap. Blink says, could I do a Game Pass daytime stream where we can check out multiple games in one day? Well, here's the thing. When I did stuff like that, Game Pass streams, Game Pass days, the reason it worked is because I wasn't doing anything on Game Pass at the time. So it was a good opportunity for us to explore a variety of games on Game Pass, see which ones worked, and possibly go back to them in the future, right? Right now, I got like 6, 7 games on Game Pass that I started and I haven't done anything with. Why do another Game Pass day where we just try more that might be good? Like, well, am I ever going to play any more of those? Or just going to sit there forever unplayed? What was the point? You see? I'd rather go back and play some older games first, get through those. Then when we go, okay, we went through those. Now let's check out new ones, and then we'll do that. Okay? Am I excited for the new Lord of the Rings TV show or possible future games? Games, yes. The Lord of the Rings TV show, I don't know. All these TV shows that have been coming out, right, recently, I don't know, man. You look at the Halo TV show, you take a look, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be any good. I just don't know. I mean, I want it to be good, but is the Lord of the Rings TV show really going to capture the same magic that Peter Jackson made in his trilogies? I don't know. Yes, that would be possible, Lipsy. He says, what about a daytime stream of the Game Pass games of the ones I'm currently playing? Yeah, that would make sense. Like, for example, we finish Elden Ring and then we finish Lego. So I start with WWE 2K, but then maybe what we do is we do 2 streams a week where it's Game Pass variety days, where I go through and I play maybe 3 games each an hour to make progress in each of the respective playthroughs. We could do that. No, I've never seen The Witcher. Nope. Never seen The Witcher show. Alice Telemon to me another $1.50 says, how awesome would it be to set up a set first to 10 in Super Turbo with Max on the Xbox? Max? You mean Maximilian? He doesn't play Super Turbo. I would say, Versus games. We're both into Versus games. Max used to play all the Versus stuff, and I play the Versus stuff. So, like, for example, if they ever came out with a modernized Versus collection, like if it was like Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, maybe some of the, like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, now that would be cool. That I would actually really enjoy playing a set against him because he's very good. Like I said, the very few matches that I played against him in Marvel 1, he was very good Strider. And I was like, shit, Strider is my bane in that game. He's the hardest character to fight against, and he just pisses me off because he has so many advantages compared to the rest of the cast. So I'd actually like playing him a set in that. But Super Turbo, he doesn't play Super Turbo. That would be like a spanking. That wouldn't even be fair. So it wouldn't even be fun in my opinion. I think maybe, like I said, another collection, a Versus collection that came out, that would be neat. I don't know if he would ever want to play against me. He did, 10 years ago he thought it was cool, but these days, who even knows if he even fucking has an afterthought about me, right? For me, for most people, I'm just a fart in the wind. You know that, right? I'm just a fart in the wind. You guys are the guys that stuck around to keep the smell. Woo! Damn, it's disgusting. Jasper's good. Jasper's good. He's probably running around the house right now. All right, how about this, guys? Let's end the pre-stream. Let's take a brief break for me to take a piss. I got pissed before we start. It really sucks if I have to piss. I have to fight a tough boss. And then let's jump back in to the game. Let's try to beat this boss. Like I said, I've been thinking about this boss, no lie, for 2 straight days. Like, what can I do? Can I change my build this way or that way? And I have some ideas that I want to try. I have no clue if they're going to work, but I have some things I want to test out today and see what I can make happen, okay? So, we're going to see how it goes. All right, guys. Thank you very much for a great pre-stream. Let's get the show on the road.